Hi everyone, it's Rumi and Sanjay from Jetsetting with us.
Today, we're going to take a look at one of the most underrated national parks in the entire US system, North Cascades. This is one of the least visited parks in all of the US. After that, we're going to take a look at a whale watching tour out of Anacortes on the west side of Washington State.
If you love national parks, outdoor adventures, and want practical trip planning tips, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. It really helps us grow our channel. We've got a lot more content coming your way. North Cascades National Park is about a 2 to 2.5 hour drive from Seattle. The main way through the park is Highway 20, also called the North Cascades Highway, which is one of the most scenic drives in the entire state.
Unlike parks like Mount Rainier or Olympic, North Cascades is far less developed, and by the numbers, it's actually one of the least visited national parks in the entire system. You won't find big lodges or hotels inside the park itself, and services are pretty limited. Most visitors base themselves in small nearby towns like Marblemount, New Halem, or Winthrop, depending on which side you're coming from. This low visitation is exactly what makes North Cascades so wild and so untouched, but it also means you need to plan ahead so you know where to stay.
This is truly a backcountry park. Most of the wilderness really can only be reached by backpacking. If you're not into multi-day hikes, then your experience will really be focused on overlooks and hiking the trails that are in the Frontcountry along Highway 20. That's what we did during our visit out to North Cascades, and that's what we'll be exploring through our vlog today.
Our first stop was Diablo Lake Overlook. This is the view that most people picture when they think of North Cascades.
The color of the water is this unreal turquoise caused by what's called glacial flower. Tiny rock particles ground down by the glaciers suspended in the lake. It almost doesn't look real. This is one of those views where you just stop and say, wow. And the best part is, you don't have to hike for it. It's right off Highway 20. If you're into photography like I am, the light really changes the look of the water throughout the day. It's worth stopping at different times, or at least checking how the sun hits before you move on. Even if you do nothing else in the park, make sure you come here. This overlook alone is worth the drive.
From a hiking perspective, as Urmi mentioned a moment ago, we stuck to front country trails only. One of these trails was the Blue Lake Trail, which goes about 4.5 miles round trip and ends at an alpine lake. After some of the hikes that we've done in other places such as Olympic, Mount Rainier, and Glacier National Park in Montana, this hike honestly felt a little bit underwhelming. If you're tight on time, this really isn't a must-do. This is Blue Lake, and it's pretty. It's actually very reminiscent of Iceberg Lake in Glacier National Park, although that was a 5-mile hike. I can't remember. No, it was a 10-mile hike, so out and back, 5 miles each way, give or take. So this is this was an okay hike, and the view at the end it's pretty, but it's not like the best I've ever seen, honestly. I think there are better hikes to do. This is our first hike here in North Cascades, and I think that we'll check out a couple others and let you know what we think. But the other thing I would add here is that probably just because it's summer, we're near a body of water, there are a lot of mosquitoes. So make sure you either bring your bug spray or do what I do. I've always got a jacket on, and this is not because I'm cold. This is just for bug protection. It's a little bit, feels less toxic than having the bug spray on. But whatever you like, bug spray or whatever, definitely make sure you get that on.
Next, we went to the Rainy Lake Trail. Just about 2 miles round trip and paved the whole way.
So here we are at Rainy Lake, and this was after about a 0.9 mile hike, let's call it 1 mile or so, all on a paved pathway. And I gotta say, I think this is much more picturesque than what we saw at Blue Lake for a much simpler hike as well. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Some people definitely want to do like a little bit more of a moderate hike or even a strenuous hike. I don't think Blue Lake was a strenuous hike. I would call it maybe a moderate. But I think overall, this is much more picturesque and for an easier hike than we got from Blue Lake. So if you're not really a big hiker and you want to do something simple with a really awesome view at the end, I totally think this is the way to go. Another quick stop we made was the Gorge Creek Overlook. It's right off the road with a short walk to a bridge that looks down into the gorge and out toward Gorge Lake. It's not a long stop, but it makes for a nice break in the drive.
Since we didn't venture into the backcountry, the most unforgettable part of this park was really the driving. And this was especially true when we got to Washington Pass Overlook.
Washington Pass sits at about 5,500 feet and offers one of the most dramatic views along the Highway 20 corridor. It's not only beautiful, it's rare to find such alpine drama just steps from the road. And with minimal crowds and no entry fee, it's a simply unmissable moment in the park. After that highlight, we continued our scenic drive down Highway 20, and the next adventure was just about to begin.
Our next stop, Anacortes for a whale watching tour. Along the way, we drove through Deception Pass State Park, one of Washington's most famous viewpoints. It was absolutely packed the day we came through, so packed that we couldn't even get a parking spot to walk out to the overlook. But even just driving across, you can see why it's such a popular spot.
From there, it was just a short drive into Anacortes, where we traded mountain peaks for a whale watching tour. These trips usually last 3 to 4 hours, and the San Juan Islands are one of the best places in the world to see orcas. On our trip, we got super lucky. It turned into an orca show. We were thrilled because we've seen whales in other places, but this was our first time ever seeing orcas. Watching them move through the water felt surreal. After days of alpine peaks and glacial lakes, this was a totally different kind of wow, but just as unforgettable. If you're planning to capture a lot of photos or video, bring a monopod instead of a tripod. A tripod is awkward and takes up space on a moving boat, but a monopod gives you just enough stability without getting in anyone's way.
Seeing orcas was a perfect way to end this trip. It just reminds us that the Pacific Northwest has as much magic on the water as it does up in the mountains. Next, we want to share our pro tips to help make your trip planning smoother, whether you're looking to visit North Cascades National Park or to go for a whale watching tour in the Pacific Northwest. Tip number 1. North Cascades is one of the least visited parks in the national park system. The experience here is backcountry heavy. Don't expect a lot of lodges or front country development. Most visitors really experience this park through overlooks and through hiking trails along Highway 20 itself.
Tip number 2. Cell service is quite spotty within the park, so be sure to download your offline maps ahead of time. Yes, I know we say that in every single video, but it's a really good tip. Tip number 3. While it is free to enter the park, it turns out that some trailheads actually have a payment required before you can park. So here are a few options to do that payment. The first, if you have the America the Beautiful Pass, that's the annual pass sold by the National Park Service, you can just display that in your dashboard and you're good to go. The second option is to buy a Northwest Forest Pass, which you would have to do ahead of time, either online or in person. That's purchased from the US Forest Service. Display that in your dashboard, and again, you're good to go. The third option is to download the recreation.gov app, which again, you have to do ahead of time because there's no service in the park. When you get to each trailhead, they'll have a QR code and you can scan and put on your license plate.
Now, some tips for your whale watching tour. Tip number 1, we highly recommend you dress in layers. It gets cold out on the water even in the summertime. We suggest you bring a jacket, gloves, and hat. You'll be really glad you did. Tip number 2, this is for the photographers and the videographers out there. If you're planning to shoot while you're on this tour, we really do recommend that you bring a monopod with you.
So here's our overall opinion of North Cascades. Recall, there are 3 parks in this area: North Cascades, Mount Rainier, and Olympic. Of these 3, we expected North Cascades to be the best. Due to the low visitation numbers, we thought it would be like an undiscovered gem sort of thing. We had a great time here, but we thought compared to Mount Rainier and Olympic, we felt like those parks were better. So if you're really into backpacking and the backcountry sort of vibe, we didn't do that, and maybe there's a lot more to see. But if you're more of the front country type of hiker, we think that maybe you might have a better time and get better views in Mount Rainier or in Olympic.
What really made this leg of the trip so special was finishing up with the whale watching tour. Seeing orcas out in the wild gave us that unforgettable moment that North Cascades really just didn't give us. While it was a beautiful park, it really wasn't the highlight of all the Washington parks in our mind.
So that's a wrap for a trip to North Cascades coupled with a whale watching tour. Between the alpine lakes, dramatic mountain passes, and seeing orcas in the wild, this really gave us a mix that you won't find anywhere else.
If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. It really helps to grow our channel and keeps us motivated to share our adventures with you.
And tell us what you think about North Cascades. Did you like it? Did you do the backcountry? How did you feel about it compared to Mount Rainier or Olympic? Drop a comment below and we'll be sure to respond.
We look forward to seeing you on our next adventure. Bye for now.